The
This
class strength was
conference
like
will now
30,
be
35.
recorded.
So it dropped to 18. Yeah, the interest goes away, I know. Okay. It was my mistake only. So I'll tell you what actually happened, why there was a continuous gap, because there was little time where I was not keeping well, and then uh, these days, like I don't know, when we go to certain restaurants and eat the food, right, it keeps you sick. And then we had a team outing, my entire team, who works with me. We went for a restaurant because one of the students, like who got the job, he came and then he gave the treat to everybody. So we had to go, and then almost everybody in the office fell sick, and I was also not keeping that well. I mean, not that sick wherein you have to go and stay on the bed, but at the same time not keeping well, in terms of energies and all that. So that was there, so I didn't get that energy. And then there was this Indian festival. I'm sure most of them are from India. They know that there's a festival, so in the festival mood. And yesterday there was a client meeting, because Isha Training Solutions also does a lot of projects. We implement projects. So there were escalations in one of the project. So I had to go to High Tech City. High Tech City is a place in Hyderabad where a lot of IT companies are there. So going itself from, I mean, I stay little outskirts. So going itself will take probably, I would say, 1.5 to 2 hours. So the meeting was only for half an hour to 1 hour, but going and coming back was like really painful. I would say pain in the neck. Okay, so by the time I came back, it was 7 or 7:30. So that is the reason why. So things were happening. I know, we are having the break today. Also, there were students who came to me. They are taking the classes, not getting the job, so they were sitting with me. So we were discussing. So that's why there is a delay. It is happening at 6:20 already. Okay. Anyway, so that's the story. Um, now now okay, so let's get back. Okay, let's get back. I mean, yeah, I have this. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so yeah, Syed was the team lead. Test lead is what we call it. So the test lead, he's the one who has created the test plan, and it has been baseline as well. Wonderful. Now let's go and see what is there in the test plan. Okay, the test planning phase is the first phase of STLC, right? The test planning phase is the first phase of software testing life cycle. Wonderful. So now we have discussed how it is baseline. So once it is baseline, now we will go discuss what is there in the test plan. Okay, the first one is introduction. Okay, so introduction also I have already covered in the last class. Okay, so today we will take it only till 7 o'clock. I know, today I'm joining only because there should not be too much of breaks, and all the people would lose the interest. That is the reason why I'm joining. Okay, so we'll take the class only for half an hour to 40 minutes today, and from tomorrow let's try to keep it professional and try to join exactly at 6 o'clock. Okay, tomorrow is Saturday, oh my god. So from Monday, yeah, we will try to keep it professional, and we'll try to join at 6 o'clock and take 1 to 1 hour 15 minutes. Okay, anyways, so now the introduction. What is there in the introduction? General introduction, we talk about what is this project for. Okay, let's say it is ICICI online banking application. So we will say that yes. Okay, the introduction is the testing, the software testing is done for ICICI online banking application. This application is used by the end users of all the bank customers, okay, who have a savings account or a current account. And the customer will be able to log into the application, will be able to do the various transactions, like money transfers, or order the checkbook, or different banking activities. Okay, like this we will give all the things about that particular project or the application for which we are doing the software testing. Okay, we'll give all that thing. And also the objective, what is the purpose of this okay, and we also mention the objective. Okay, so what is the objective of this particular test plan? Okay, we definitely tell you what is the project for, and also what is the objective. The objective of the test plan is so that the planning is done, and this document can be distributed across with multiple people. Okay, and it needs to be signed off, and this document will be kind of a bible for all the testing members. So this is your objective, to spread across this document. Okay, so And also, as you can look at this test plan, there is already a test plan in front of you. Clearly mention that, what are the deliverables that you have, and what is this purpose for exit criteria, entry criteria, and all that. Okay, will be mentioned as a part of the introduction. Again, is this section important? No. Why I'm covering? Just to get you a feel for what will be put into this, just in case the interviewer has asked you, have you created the test plan? The answer should be yes. And then they will ask you, okay, can you tell me what is that you have included in the test plan? Then you will talk about all the sections of the test plan, and at least for each section you should be able to answer one or two or three things about that particular section. Okay, are we clear with this, guys? Are we clear with this so far? Introduction, because I went through little quickly, because introduction I believe I've already covered in the last class. Okay. Are we clear? And one more thing, guys, this test plan is a theory, very boring topic. I'll try to make it as interesting as possible, and cut out the lag wherever it is, and try to keep it crisp. Okay, but you have to stay awake. I'm saying that, this is such a boring topic, I have to tell you. Okay. Okay, so are you okay, guys? Are you okay so far? Everybody understood this part? One is yes, two is no. I want to hear from all the 20 people who have joined today. Okay, it's just the introduction. Okay, introduction is just the introduction. Okay, wonderful. Okay, now scope. What is the meaning of scope? You can unmute yourself and speak in Hindi, Telugu, or whatever the languages. I understand Kannadiga as well, little, and Tamil also a little bit. Okay, so you, whichever language you're comfortable, you can unmute yourself and speak. When you said scope, what do you mean as an English meaning of scope? Anybody. Again, I want you to be active, guys. Please,
What are the
bring back
areas
that
of
energy.
work?
Right.
The
What are
areas
the
of
areas?
work to be worked.
Okay, the areas where it needs to be worked. Wonderful.
Worked.
Samir also unmuted themselves. Is this Samir who is speaking?
This is
Okay.
Prashanti, sir.
Prashanti. So Samir, I see that, you also unmuted. Can you please speak up? What is the first thing which comes to your mind when I said scope? Okay. So areas of testing, that's what Jaydeep says. You're close. Okay. So let me put it this way. I'll give you example, guys. Okay. Range. Azil says range. Again, I'm getting your name incorrect, Azil, but I will be please calling you Azil itself. Okay. I know it is very inappropriate for me to mispronounce a name. Okay. But I'm trying my best. Okay. Um, it's okay, right, Azil? Okay, it's okay. Wonderful. Okay, to see clearly for a long-term scope. Wonderful. Whatever all of you said is true, but in the performance test plan sense, scope means only this much amount of work is in scope for this particular release, or we will do only this much. We know we have 100 things to do, but for this release, when I said this release, for this 4 months, we will only test these 40 or 50 features. Kumar sir, I haven't understood. Can you please give me an example? Okay, let's say there is an ATM, guys. Okay, there is an ATM. Okay, there is an ATM. Okay, ATM should support Hindi language. Okay, Hindi language should support Telugu language, should support obviously English. Okay, so English language. Okay, and all the Bengali as well. I don't know, how many people are Bengali and all that. So they have done some analysis and they would have said this ATM is going where? It is going in Hyderabad. That's why these three languages are important, because in Hyderabad, Telugu is predominantly speak. Hindi, it's a national language. English, everybody should know. So these three languages. And then ATM should also support Bengali, Tamil, Gujarati, okay? And then let's say there are other languages, Urdu, okay? And then other languages as well. So what they said, okay, for this release means this 4 months. 4 months is a release, right? So the release will be usually what? Usually what? Release will be from Jan to April. Okay, then April, May to May, June, July, August. Okay, then like that. Okay, let's say this is the release 2. Okay, we are in this is release 1 actually. Okay, this is release 4. So usually April, whatever it is. So anyways, so whatever is the release. Okay, so actually it's Jan to March, 3 months is the release. Jan to March, April to May, April, May, June. Okay, so July, August, September, okay, October, November, December, okay, December, okay. This is what generally we call it as release 1, okay. This is what we usually call it as release 2, okay, generally, and this is what we call it as release 3, okay, generally in corporate world I'm saying, okay, and this is release 4, okay, and this is release 4, and this is release 4, okay. Again, I'm going through all this because I want all this to sink into your mind, how the IT industry works. Okay. Can anybody tell me why not Jan to March is release 1? Because year starts with Jan. Why not this is release 1? Why this is release 1? Any idea? Anybody who's worked in little bit of corporate, any job you have known, you know this. Any corporate job you would have done, you would have known it. Or anybody give it a guess? Okay. Can you tell me when you file your taxes in any country? Each
Financial
one
year.
is a quarter. Huh? Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, there are two things, guys. Calendar year. Okay, there are two things. What is it? Calendar year. One is fiscal year. Okay, financial year or fiscal year. All of you know the difference. Financial year starts with when? Financial year starts from January. Okay, sorry, calendar year starts from January because it is calendar. Okay, and financial year or finance year starts when? It starts from April. Any company it starts from April, because even you file your taxes after April only. March is done and you will file your taxes in April, or any company, any individual, anybody. So they will do all the budgeting and everything on the first quarter. This is the first quarter. Okay, this is when you will get a lot of jobs. Even you searching for jobs na, this first year, first quarter is what we call it. You'll have a lot of jobs because this is the financial year for the company. They would have done all the budgeting, everything, and say that on April they will get a lot of budgets, and then they say that okay, I'll do so many hiring, so much hiring, and all that. Okay, so uh, that's why it is. This is release 1. Okay. Anyways, so coming back to the thing, okay, I've totally lost. Okay, coming back to the thing, let's say this test plan you are creating it for first release, okay, which is from April to June. Okay, so for this first release, only these three languages are in scope. Okay, which means that this is also part of the plan, but for this particular release, only these three languages are in scope, which means that your focus should be only on for these three ones. Okay, your focus should not be on this three, on other languages. And then the next release, probably they will add two or three. Then you will be doing the testing for these three and as well as for these two. Okay, then the next year, the next they have this added these two, so you will be doing this two languages in the next release. So you will create the first test plan for the release 1. You will create another test plan for release 2, another test plan for release 3. Scope of test plan 1, which is released for release 1, is these three is in scope. Okay, and all these other things are out of scope. Okay, are we clear, guys? Now understanding what is in scope and out scope. Everybody. And in out of scope, you will clearly mention as well what is that we are keeping it as out of scope. Okay, you see this feature is in scope, performance is in scope, GUI, graphical user interface, is in scope. Okay, and something, so from you see not other mentioned from section 2.1. So anything which is not there here are functions not to be tested. Okay, that's what you're putting it here. If this has to be put in the test plan, then you say these three languages for ATM are in scope. In out of scope or functions not to be tested, all these three languages are out of scope and functions not to be tested. That's what you will put it in your test plan. Are we clear, guys? Is this section clear to you? Scope and out of scope, all of you? All of you? Okay, wonderful, superb. Okay, now, okay, now there is a next section called, okay, test strategy or test. Okay, let me come to the next section. Okay, so the next, hang on, where is it? One second, guys. Okay, yeah, so the next section is the test approach or test strategy. Okay, there are some objectives that they have added here. Typically, we don't have it. Okay, so I'm skipping this because in most of my test plans, I haven't seen, I have seen there is no objectives in general. So I'm not really bothered about this section. So I'm bothered about this section called test approach or test strategy. Okay, what is this? Test approach or test strategy. Generally people call it as test strategy, not test approach, but here they would put it as test approach. So I'm still okay with it. Okay, I'm still okay with it. So what is this test strategy? Okay, what is this test strategy? So this is a very important interview question, guys. Focus very well here. Okay, so now coming to the third section, it is a test approach, or I'll call it as test strategy. Okay, some people might call it as test approach as well. Okay, but I would like to call it as a test strategy because test strategy is much more professional. Okay, it is professional. Okay, so now here I want to clarify one thing, guys. This is a very important interview question. Okay, focus clearly. Focus clearly. What is the difference between, what is the difference between test plan and test strategy? Okay, and test strategy. Okay, what is the difference between test plan and test strategy? Okay, okay, any guesses, guys? Any guesses? Anybody want to give it a guess? What is the difference? Most of you would have taken the training elsewhere or looked at interview. Yeah, please go ahead. Somebody has unmuted. Please go ahead. Anybody? Okay. So let me put it this way, guys. Okay. Watch carefully. Test strategy. Sorry. Test strategy. Okay. JD says test strategy is a high level document. Mahendra says test plan is a detailed document. 100% correct. I will not disagree with you. Superb, correct. Okay, but let me put it this way. Okay, when you said high level document, I would like to call it as a organizational document, organizational level document. What is it? Test strategy is a organizational level document. Okay, test plan is project level document. What is it? Project level document. Okay, sir, I understand what you're saying. It is saying that it is organizational, it is project, but still it is not clear to me, sir. Give me small example and tell me. Okay, now you tell me Infosys. Okay, it is an organization. Do you agree with me? Do you agree with me? Infosys is an organization. In Infosys, only one testing project is happening, or hundreds of testing projects is happening. One one testing projects or 100? Tell me, guys. Hundreds and thousands of testing projects are happening. I want to hear from all of you. Are you guys listening at all actually to me, or I'm the only one? Hundreds and thousands or multiple projects are happening. So what Infosys has as is a generic testing document, okay, saying that this is our this is how, okay, our testing happens in Infosys. Okay, so overall, let's say Infosys is going to ICICI and saying that, oh, you're doing testing, give me the testing project. Then they will give this test strategy document and says that, oh, ICICI, you see, this is how we do the testing in Infosys. That document which Infosys will give it to ICICI or HDFC or Western Union or Westpac or whichever company it is, the document, the generic document that Infosys gives to all these companies, That is what is a test strategy document. It is not based for this IC. This document is not based out of this ICICI banking application project that you're doing. It is not specifically created for this project called ICICI banking application. It is a generic document which is generally applicable to all the projects, and how Infosys is handling it and what it will do and all that. Okay, so that the test strategy on the high level you will mention here. Okay, that the test strategy on the high level you will mention over here. Okay, again, I don't wanted to open the document and go through the document. Okay, but on the high level I will open it to and see what it is. But generally what will be there in that? Okay, what is your automation plan? Okay, how many levels of, we are already seen the levels of testing, types of testing, right? Then the Infosys will say, okay, these are all the types of testing we will do, these are all the levels of testing we will do, these are the tested design techniques that we have. Okay, again, tested design techniques, what is it, sir? Okay, again, I'll come to that as well. Okay, so like this, there are multiple things which are there, terminology, list of automation tools they are good at. All these things will be mentioned in the test strategy document, guys. Okay, step by step, if we have to go through, it will be little difficult. Okay, but still I will try to cover it. Okay, and try to tell you what will be there in each section of the test strategy document. Okay, but again, let's not go deep into it. Okay, and we will cover as much as we could on the high level. Okay, now we are deviating from the test plan. Okay, now we are deviating from the test plan and going into the test strategy. Okay, but before that we have discussed about the difference. What is the difference? Okay, test strategy is the organization level document, which means that for all the projects that Infosys will be conducting, they have one single document, which is the strategy document, which is applicable in general for all the projects. But test plan is, that is only for this ICICI project that you are doing. That specific document that you are creating is the test plan, which we are discussing right now, which we have started discussing right now, right? We have discussed about the introduction, which we have covered. Okay, and then we have discussed about out of scope and in scope. Okay, and then we are discussing about the test strategy, which is the third step. Okay, now we are going deep into the test strategy. We will discuss what all will be there on a test strategy on the high level. Again, I'm saying, guys, test plan document we have started discussing. What is the first section? Introduction. Okay, so that you don't get confused, I am writing, guys. Okay, second section is, yes, scope items and in scope and out of scope items. Third section is, okay, test strategy. Okay, test strategy. Okay, in this test strategy, there are multiple things which are there, which we will be discussing on the high level. Once all these points in the test strategy is discussed, okay, whatever the 4 points, 5 points, 6 points that we have, okay, once we discuss all the points in test strategy, then we will come back and then we'll talk about the fourth point of test plan. Okay, we'll talk about the fourth point of test plan. Okay, so tell me, guys, first we will discuss all the points of test strategy and then go back to the fourth point of test plan, or we will keep this aside. We understood what is the test strategy on the high level. We'll keep this aside. We will complete what is there in the test plan and go back to this test strategy. What is that you're comfortable with? One is, let's complete the test strategy and go to the fourth point. Two is, let's complete the test plan and then go back to the test strategy. One or two? Okay, two, because test plan is important. Okay, I totally agree with you, guys. So I'll come back to the test strategy again, but let's not disturb the flow. Let's not disturb the flow, and let's go with the test plan. Okay, let's go with the test plan. Okay, in the test plan, the next item, okay, the next item is, okay, uh, base criteria. Okay, so base criteria, in this base criteria there are two things: acceptance criteria, suspension criteria. Okay, so we will discuss in detailed about this base criteria, guys. Okay, so let me grab some water. So I'm shouting, so I need some water. Just give me one moment, guys. So let me get some water. Okay, I'll be on mute. Okay, guys, so I'm back. Okay, let me start. The recording is already happening. Yes, recording is in process. Okay, so now the base criteria. Then the fourth section is the base criteria. Okay, so or in lot of people they call it as entry and exit criteria. Okay, so I would like to call it as entry and exit criteria itself, because in my test plans I used to call this as entry and exit criteria. Again, very important interview question. Okay, this is again a very important interview question. Okay, what is entry criteria? Okay, and what is exit criteria? Okay, difference between entry and exit criteria. Again, I haven't seen interviews without people asking this question. Very almost all interviews they ask these questions. Okay, let's try to answer this question. Okay, now I'll ask you the question, guys. When will you start your testing? When will you start your testing? Can somebody please tell me some example? When do you think you will start the testing? Anybody can answer this. Okay, so okay, when do you actually start your testing in your project? Okay, you can tell me that as soon as I receive the business analyst document, as soon as I spoke, as soon as my manager tells me to start the testing. I want to hear from you guys. When do you think you will start the testing? Anybody? Okay, after BRS document. Okay, Aruna says after the BS document. Wonderful. Okay, application should be ready and stable. Wonderful, Jaydeep. Wonderful, superb. Okay, anybody else? Jaydeep, superb man. Okay, I really love that answer. I know you have already taken the course. Okay, anybody else? Okay, so entry criteria is nothing but when will you start your testing? Okay, it depends on the project. 10 minutes. Okay, so it depends on the company, it depends on the project, depends on so many things. Okay, for example, in my project I would say that yes, as Jaydeep said, when the application is deployed into the testing environment, when application should be ready means what Jaydeep said, application should be ready. What does it mean? Application should be deployed. Okay, deployed into my testing environment. Okay, and stable. Okay, this is one of the entry criteria. Is this the only one? No, there could be multiple things. That is one of the multiple entry criteria. Okay, so there could be one more entry criteria when test data is ready. Okay, there could be one more entry criteria. Okay, all the testing resources are hired. Okay, okay, all the testing resources are hired. There could be one more entry criteria. Okay, there could be one more entry criteria. What is this? Okay, necessary KT means what? Everybody understands by the word K. Understand by KT? Necessary KT is given to all the testing resources. Okay, okay, KT means everybody understands, guys. KT, if somebody understands, somebody doesn't understand, put one. I want to see that one. Okay, everybody understands by KT. Okay, knowledge transfer, which means that you have to get the knowledge on that particular application. Yeah, testing knowledge you all of you have, but the application, which is ICICI online banking application, we haven't used it before, so I need the KT on that. I need some knowledge transfer, I need some information on that. Somebody should tell me what this application is. Yes, so necessary KT2 is given to all the testing resources. Okay, or there are any tools. Okay, there is a tool called Jira, which I will cover as a part of the course as well. Tools are procured means what? Purchased, and licenses are in place. Okay, so like this there could be any number of entry criteria, but whatever you think are your entry criteria, or whatever you think that needs to be there in place before you start the testing, all that you put it in this section. And once this document is baseline, you will not start your testing until all these are met. All these are met. Okay, are we clear, guys? Are we clear now? Are you absolutely clear what is entry criteria? Because this is 100% interview question. Okay, this is 100% interview question. You see, I have sent this document across to you. You can go through more entry criterias which are properly listed down here. Okay, you see, QA resources have completely understood the requirements. KT of this application is what I have put it, but they have put it in this way. Okay, so I've said that Jira, they are using some tools called RTM. So like this, all this falls into the entry criteria. Again, for all the companies, for all the projects, entry criteria is same, more or less it will be same, but there will be differences as well. It totally depends on the test manager or the test lead who has created and who thinks that all this needs to be in place before we can start the testing. All that we will put it in the entry criteria. Now you tell me, what is exit criteria, guys? Now that I've told you what is entry criteria, now you tell me what is exit criteria. Can somebody unmute? Okay, Sayed says when application is defect free, that is one of the exit criteria. But tell me
when
what exit criteria itself is.
when to stop testing.
Abba, super. When will you stop the testing? Wonderful, wonderful. When will you stop the testing? Simple. When will you stop the testing? My exit criteria is whenever I feel like. Okay, whenever I feel like. Then immediately they say, okay, whenever I feel like I'll give you the money, then you will leave the job. Okay, so this is not your exit criteria. Okay, that definitely is not your exit criteria. Okay, because they will also say, na, whenever we will feel like, then we will give the salary. Okay, so that should not be your exit criteria. Your exit criteria is, okay, when when my test report is signed off. Signed off means the manager says, ah, this is good, you can, you know, whatever the test report you have given, it is wonderful. Okay, so when when um, uh, when all the severity 1, severity 2 defects are 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 fixed. Okay, fixed, tested. Okay, that is your exit criteria. Okay, third one is, okay, when severity 3 and severity 4 defects are less than 10%. Okay, now Kumar sir, what is this severity 1? We know defects. Okay, when given time for testing is finished. Yes, Gita, that also you can put it. Okay, whatever the deadline is there, when deadline is reached. Okay, deadline is reached, but nobody will put this because the client might get offended. These guys are saying, okay, we pay so much money, so they don't want to work even one day extra if required, is what the client might think. So he might get offended, so I will not put that. Okay, but Kumar sir, what is this severity 1, severity 2 defects? I know defects. Okay, I will come and talk about it when we talk about the defect life cycle. What is it? Defect life cycle. But for now, try to understand that severity 1, 2 is like, it will severely affect the application, like login is not happening, or with proper username password you are not able to log in. This is severity 1. Okay, when you do the balance transfer of 100 rupees, 1000 rupees is transferring. This is severity 1, 2. Okay, you are not able to actually go into the transfer page itself. This is severity 1, 2. Sir, severity 1, 2 we understood, which is severely affecting the usage of the application. Those defects are severity 1. But what is the severity 3 and severity 4? Okay, ICICI. Okay, ICICI. Somewhere this text is there. It should be in bold, but this is not there in bold. This is what we call it as a cosmetic defect or severity 4 defect. Understanding, guys? ICICI, there is a text called ICICI. Somewhere the text is there. It should be bold color. It should be in blue color, but it is not in blue color. It is not bold. Thus, this is a defect. It is not as per the requirement. But because of that, usage of application is not. No, you are not stopping it. So this is a severity 3, 4 defects. Understanding, guys? Are you understanding? Okay, so like this. Okay, once balance transfer is done, balance transfer is done, this message is displayed. What is this? Balance transfer of 1000 rupees. Okay, 1000 rupees, balance transfer of 1000 rupees is successfully done, and there should be a tick mark. Okay, tick mark should be there at the bottom. Okay, this is what the text message that it should show after the transfer is done. This is being displayed correctly, but this tick mark is not coming. Yes, this is a defect, but this is a severity 3-4 defect. Are you understanding, guys? Are you understanding? So in that case, severity 1-2, there should not be a defects. Okay, only then you will stop the testing. Okay, 3 and 4, which is this cosmetic minor defects are there. Developers don't have time to fix it. They're less than 10%. Less than 10% means this severity for defects, 50 defects you found it. Okay, there are 5 defects which are still pending, and because of various reasons, the developers are not able to find the time to do it. Yes, it is less than 10%, less than or equal to 10%. 5 defects are there. Then you will say that, boss, okay, we have met the exit criteria, so we can stop the testing. Yes, this 5 defects needs to be fixed, but when we will be fixing? In the next release. This release is what? The release 1. In the next release, between July and September, more work is going on, more features are coming, their Bengali Tamil is being added. But at that point of time, we are not only taking care of Bengali Tamil language, but we are taking care of these 5 defects which are there in the next release. Okay, so when severity and 4 defects are less than 10%, this is what it is. So no product can be defect free, guys, trust me. Okay, there could be known defects, so this will go as a known defect in that cheat sheet, or in whatever the sheet they call it. Okay, are you understanding, guys? Are you understanding the exit criteria? Everybody clearly understood the exit criteria? With this, I will close the today's class. On Monday, we will take complete 1 hour class, or maybe extend it more as well. But have you understood this exit criteria clearly? Okay, wonderful, guys, wonderful. Okay, there is suspension criteria, resumption criteria as well, which we will cover it in the next class, which is on Monday. From Monday, the classes will happen regularly. Please join. Please tell your friends as well, okay, who haven't joined today, that classes will be happening regularly from Monday. Okay, so are you still enjoying the class, or you're getting bored, guys? My classes? Okay, 1 is yes, 2 is no. Okay, because these documents, these things are very hard to explain. Keep that energy level high, make it interesting. Okay, very hard, trust me. Okay, because this is dry subject. Okay, so yeah, somebody said there are some manual testing jobs in Hyderabad. Today morning they called me. I know it is for freshers job. Somebody is interested, let me know on the WhatsApp group, saying that you're interested. And I don't know whether they are from work from home, or they have to come to the company, and what is the salaries and all that, I don't even know. If you want, I'll give you the number who called me. You can contact them directly, okay, and send the resume to them. So somebody is interested, put it in the chat window, I mean the WhatsApp group, or personally send me the chat. I will give you that number, guys. The job seems to be in Hyderabad, India. Okay, wonderful, guys, wonderful. Okay, tomorrow or Monday when we come back, so we'll look into the suspension criteria, resumption criteria, and the other things. Okay, and the other things. Wonderful, take care. Okay, bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Amma. Take care. Bye bye.